checking into Marketing Showcase on Demand. This is the recording for Katie Lamond's session on PPC, SEO, or social media, which suits my business best. She was speaking live as part of December's online marketing event, and it was a brilliant presentation. I'm sure you'll take lots from this. The session's about 30 minutes in length, so sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Hi everybody, I'm Katie Lamond. I work for Vooba. I'm going to talk to you today about SEO, PPC and social media. Before I share my screen, I'm just going to give you, actually while I'm doing that, I'll give you a bit of background about me. I've been working with businesses for the last 20 years and advise them on advertising, and that advertising will help them achieve their goals with their business. Over the last 20 years, the landscape has changed somewhat. So what I do hasn't changed, but the way that people are influenced has changed. So how I advise them is different now and will continue to be different and it's going to keep going over and over. So it's really important that we stay ahead of the different trends, how people are searching, different influencers that are out there. So I can help my customers make the most of that. So what I'm going to do today is, this is us. So SEO, PPC or social media, which suits me best. In Vooba, we originally started off as PPC stars. We were historically a Google ad agency. But like I said, as time has gone on, the way that people search for businesses has changed, different influencers have changed, and our clients' needs have changed. So we've introduced more services as time have gone on, and we rebranded as Vooba nearly 2 years ago now. And it's been a huge success, really well received by our clients. And so far, we're a smallish agency, so we can still offer a really great level of personal care to our clients and tailored approach. We've currently got around about 35 SEO clients, 165 pay-per-click Google Ads clients, and 20 social media clients. So that's just a bit of background about me and about Vooba. So let's get into this. Any questions that you have throughout the way, please put in the chat. And if I can't answer them at the end, I can get back to you after this for anything else. And also, if anybody wants I'm offering a 30-minute consultation after this as well. I'll send out my details, let Ashley know, and you can book a space. So which one is best for your business? So the first thing that we need to do before we talk about what products are the right things, the digital methods, we'll call them products. What we need to do, the first thing we need to do is look at what your objectives are with your business. Are you looking for brand awareness? Are you looking to improve customer loyalty? Do you want more newsletter signups? Are you looking for leads? Because ultimately everybody wants to make sales and leads, but there normally comes some steps before we get to the leads. And, are you looking for results immediately, or is this more of a long-term plan that you're looking for? You want to start your business up and you're growing as you go, but appreciate that leads might not come straight away because you need to build that know, like, and trust factor up. So once we've identified what our objectives are, the next thing we need to do is identify what you are selling. This could be a product, a service. It could be a few things that you're selling. So my advice would be to take every different thing that you're selling, whether it be a product or a service, and kind of section it, give it its own little business. If you imagine your business being a high street, then every service or a product that you sell can be a little outlet. And then each one of those needs a plan, because the customers might be slightly different for each service, or the way that they buy that might be different for each service. So we need to make sure to make the most of each one, everything that you do. We need to make sure that we give each one its individual right approach. Then we need to identify who your customers are, what their ages are, what their gender is, what their interests are, where they shop, who they're influenced by, things like what their net worth is, and also what do your customers aspire to be as well. Then what is the buying journey like for each product or service? So what that means is it an emergency need? Is it a considered purchase? If so, how long is that buying journey? It could just be a matter of days. It could be as much as 6 months to a year. For something, if your clients that come on board with us some come on straight away because they've been recommended to us. But if they're coming to us, they're looking for an agency, that could take quite a while for them to build that trust factor and see work that we produce for other clients, first of all, before they decide to take the plunge, and then may just test the waters before they then go out full out with a big strategy. Others just come straight on board. Everybody's different. So it's really important to remember that there isn't one size that fits all. Would your potential customers ask for referrals? If they do ask for referrals, who are they asking for referrals from? Is it really trusted people that, they would trust with their life, like family and really close friends? Or is it something more casual where they'd happily just ask colleagues, have they, who have they used before in the past, or what do they think of X? Or is it something they might not even bother going to the extent of asking somebody, but where you've got a phone in your hand and people are on social media multiple times a day, would maybe just ask their peers on social media for references. And that's a really good way, that because people can effectively pass a business card over through social media. So it's really important that you're covering yourself on social media there as well, because your details can be passed across that way. Or is it something more personal that you offer that people might not want to ask for referrals from? It's really important to remember that as well, because if that is the case, you are really at the mercy of making sure that people can find you when they're doing a search in the right way, if they're not going to be asking for recommendations from other people. Then we need to look at, why do people buy your service, and what, so things like, are they buying your service because of quality? Do they buy on price? Do they buy your service or product because there's no alternative source? There's nowhere else to go. Is it out of loyalty? Do you have a huge following and people feel that they need to, they're buying you because they want to be loyal to your brand? Or is it the perception of your brand? You want to be part of that, you want to be part of that brand by buying a bit of a piece of it there. So all of these different things will all be things that you need to consider when you look at the picture of who your customers are and how they work, because that will be how you sort of structure your campaigns. Then we need to do is look at seasonal trends. So this is part of the how we structure that campaign, looking at seasonal trends. I might come on to this a little bit later, but for example, if you're selling fireworks, you don't want your marketing campaign to start on the 25th of October, because you ain't got a lot of time to influence anybody that way. So, we look at your seasonal trends at the beginning and map it out over a 12-month period. And then we can look at what budgets are available and look at a plan to make sure we influence the right people at the right times and deliver the right impact at the right times. So like I say, any questions on that, please pop them in the chat. So first of all, where do we start? So I haven't mentioned this so far, but you need to make sure that your website looks the part, because make sure your website looks the part and reflects your business in the way that you want. Make sure all those things that we've just talked about, making sure that it talks to each of those customers that we've looked at there. Make sure that it represents your business in the way you want. First impressions really matter. And if your website isn't right, there's no point in spending any money trying to drive traffic to your website, because all you're going to be doing is driving traffic to a shop that's not going to fit their needs. They're going to turn around, walk back out and go to the next business next door, because essentially that's what is available. We've got loads of businesses at our disposal now. So if you don't say the right things at the right time, immediately forget it and forget all the budget. So we need to make sure that that first bit is really, is really important. Then make sure that it's easy to navigate, because, you could have your shop front looking well, but when you come in, if it's a mess, people aren't going to spend any time in there as well. So it needs to be easy to navigate. Otherwise, again, they'll look at alternative websites to look at. So once we've got that covered, we then need to decide how best to spend your budget. I'll give you a bit of an overview on each of the services, and hopefully as I go, how they all fit in with each other and whether they're right for you or not will become clear. So PPC, otherwise known as Google Ads, Google AdWords, depending on what your background is and how long you've been working with them for. So pay-per-click is really good. All conversions can be measured, so you get a really clear picture on your ROI. Pay-per-click is really good if you're looking for quick results. I'm not saying overnight, there's people that say turn on a Google Ads campaign, you'll get results tomorrow. It does depend on what you're selling and what competition's like and how much budget you put in. However, this is probably one of the ways that you can get the more immediate results than other marketing activity that you can do, because essentially you're putting yourself in front of people that are already searching for your product. So it means they're already in the mind, hopefully, that they're going to be spending money with a business. It's just a question of making sure that you get those messages right, that they click on your advert, and then we influence them in the right way with your website to get them to convert. Geo-targeting is available, so we can target geographies. So from an SEO or organic point of view, it can be harder for you to rank well outside of your natural geography. So pay-per-click is a really good way to get yourself prominence in an outside area. So that's a really good thing to keep in mind when you're looking at Google AdWords. Target keywords that are really important to you. So let's say there's a particular product that you want to push, or a particular service that you're looking to promote in that time. Again, going back to the seasonal trends, if there's anything good there. If you're launching a new product, that can be a really good thing to do as well. So pay-per-click, you've got quite a lot of control over what people see about your business and how you display that information. So that's really good. It's really good if you've got an e-commerce site, because you can visually display your products there on a very text-heavy page. Google shopping ads work really well because they're really eye-catching, and they get the person who's doing the searching right to the point of transaction really, really quickly. So the conversion rates can be a lot higher. And interesting enough, the cost per clicks are quite attractive as well. So if you're selling a product, definitely recommend making sure that your e-commerce site or your website is converted so you can make sales online, and then invest in doing Google shopping. It's one of the best things that you can do there. The downside, depending on what it is you sell, you may need to invest a decent budget to try it out properly. I speak to people a lot that have invested a little bit of money, sort of dipped their toe in the water to try out Google Ads. However, it's not always been the right point for the budget, and they haven't received the results. Whereas had they put a bit more budget in, they would have been competitive in that marketplace and would have seen results. So it's about making sure that you know what you're doing, or you get an expert to have a look and do some keyword research for you and have a look at an estimate of what budget you should be investing in, and then managing your expectations on what sort of return that you'll get. And like I said before, it's great because all the conversions can be measured and controls can be put in place as to when and you appear for what searches with what messages. So next we move on to SEO, or search engine optimization, as it's otherwise known. The first thing to point out with SEO is there is no quick win. It's not an overnight solution. It's a long-term investment. So you need to have patience, and your expectations need to be that this isn't going to be something that's going to happen straight away. However, what it does mean is, because you take a long time to build up that credibility with Google and rank for the right things, the results can be really long lasting, and the traffic that you get will hopefully be really good quality, because you're looking for people that are researching the product or service that you're providing. So there's a technical side of SEO which works on things like download speed, image optimization, broken links, that sort of thing. Keyword research is another thing that goes into SEO, and on-page optimization. Or making sure those, the landing pages are really good that people are arriving on, to make sure that they keep the person on the website and get them to take some action. Blogs is another part of SEO, which is really, really good. They can offer long-lasting results and add value to the website and to the person searching. They're non-salesy, and also they can be another route to get people to your website. So a lot of searches may start off before people even sort of know that they're in the mind to buy something, but they might be researching about a product or service, or if something is available, or how do I go about rendering my house, for example. But what they would do ask these questions, read a blog, which then sort of opens their mind that there is this service out there or product that they could buy. And if you're providing that information, you're delivering them to your website, you're putting your brand in front of them, you're then going to be part of that consideration when they eventually go on to spend the money. So blogs are really a really important part of that journey. And also then gives you the opportunity, once people visit your website, that we can then retarget them with ads to keep reminding them, keep your brand ever present in your mind. So when they do make that choice to go on to contact somebody, hopefully you'll be able to be recalled. Social media. Sorry, I should have lasted on that. That's covered everything that I've talked about. And then the last overview of the services that we do, social media. So social media is brilliant for building relationships with your existing customers, and improving the relationships with existing customers, engaging your audience through non-salesy information. It can really bring your brand to life. So your website is kind of like your static shop front. Social media can bring your company to life with things like behind the scenes and getting to know how your products work, what your staff are like, the sort of service that your customers have received. And really, you can get people to get to know your business in the moment, which is really, really good. But again, like with SEO, it's about playing the long game and making sure that you have the expectation this is a long-term investment of time, love, and money. However, you can make sales, you can increase your following, you can keep your brand ever present in your ideal customers' minds through social media ads as well. And there's various methods on that. If you want to talk any more detail about that, book consultation with me, because I could talk about this all day long, because targeting methods on social media are amazing and there is something to suit everybody on social media, I believe. You can use it as a position to position yourself as a leader in your industry. So, there's loads of different things that you can do there with social media. So how do all these methods complement each other? So going back at the beginning, I said about what you're selling and how your customers buy. Just to put it into a bit of context, I'm going to skip here because I'm going to go to the case study before I go back. It'll probably make more sense. This is one of our clients, P Blackhall. They're they do plumbing and heating in the Edinburgh area. People know their brand, but they do SEO, PPC, and social media with us. And how this works for them is pay-per-click is really good for them for their distressed customer. So somebody in September or in August, they say up in Edinburgh, because all the Londoners go up for the Edinburgh Festival, turn on the heating up there because they're cold, and that's normally when all the boilers break down. So for a broken boiler, you need somebody to come out quick. It's not something that you're going to be doing a lot of shopping around for. So you get onto Google, do a quick search, and then the person that comes up near to the top, saying the right messages, is going to get your call. If they answer the phone, brilliant. If they don't, they're going to move on to the next one. So that's how Google Ads and pay-per-click works really well for that side of the business. If you know you need a new boiler, you've had your boiler for 20 years, or you're moving into a new property and the boiler needs to change, it's a huge investment, boilers. So you may then you may want to do a bit of shopping around, who's got the best finance deals, what's the best boilers to get nowadays. So that is where you need to be making sure that you're ranking well through the organic listings on Google. It's not, because you're going to be visiting multiple websites. It's about who's creating the right impressions, who's saying the right things. So to make sure that you rank well for the right types of keywords, they're above your competitors. And then on the social media side, they're a brand that's really well known. So it's about maintaining that brand awareness. But also one of the things they've done more recently is they wanted everybody to know not only their name, but making sure that people know how they were carrying out their business in the right way, in that they did run a Men in Masks campaign, as well as alongside complementing this boiler campaign, to let everybody know that they were safe and they were working in the right way and being very COVID aware. So how these all work together and how they can all complement each other. SEO can boost the quality score. So for PPC, so Google Ads, when you run a Google Ads campaign, you look at, this is how much you're going to bid for your cost per click. plus your quality score. And your quality score is made up of lots of other factors. And one of them is the download speed of your website and the quality of the landing page. Well, those are the factors that SEO can really help with. So SEO can actually help with your Google Ads campaign by increasing your quality score, which means you don't have to bid so aggressively on your cost per click. Social can drive really good quality traffic to your website, which also is a factor that helps for your SEO. And social can also help when you do a pay-per-click campaign. Social can help with the conversion rates, because somebody might click on your paid ad, not take any action then, but we can then remind them on social media of your business and encourage them to come back round and take action again. If there's from an organic point of view, if there are some keywords that are going to be very hard for you to rank for because of, let's say, competition, then what I would do is run a campaign where run some SEO, optimize some of the keywords where we can get ranking well. The ones that were going to be taking a very long time, I would run a pay-per-click campaign for those, if those are the services that you really want to be pushing. And social will build a brand, and pay-per-click can boost it. I've gone through the case study, so any questions on that? And then lastly, when we get people to your website, we want them to convert, because 2.35 people will take action on the website, the rest will leave. So I just want to introduce to you the Vooba. And what it is, it's a seamless, you can see a little bit of it on the screen here on the black hole in the bottom right-hand corner of the website there. It's like live chat, but it's automated. And what it does, it's the power of asking questions. So it takes people through a journey, asking them questions all the way along, and makes them feel welcomed, and takes them exactly to the point of the journey of what it is they're looking to buy on the website. And since we've been doing this for our clients, the conversion rates have increased massively from people that have gone on the website. So again, if you want to talk about how Vooba can help your business, make sure you let me know, and I can help you with that too. And then the last thing to remember is everybody is different. Because you do something in a certain way, it doesn't mean that other people will do that. So all of this does come with a health warning. So when I mentioned at the beginning, looking at who your customers are, how they buy, it's important to remember to give some leeway on that as well. Because like I say, not everybody will do things in the same way. So make sure that you build in contingency plans as well there. And I'll leave it here with the man who does lots of quotes. A man who stopped advertising to save money is like a man who stops a clock to save time. Thank you.
Lovely spot to leave it on. Good quote, Katie. Thank you very much for your time in going through that presentation with us today. I was talking to a few people in the chat during that. I don't know whether you've got just 5 minutes to go through some questions with me. That would be great. And we were talking about SEO and how companies are researching SEO. A lot of people are starting projects at the moment or starting to dive into SEO, and then all of a sudden their website's holding them back. Is that something you come up against, continuously with clients, and how do you address that?
Yes, all the time. You can still hear me, can't you?
Yeah,
yeah, all the time, because it's a bit of, we have clients come to us, sometimes for pay-per-click, sometimes for SEO, and the answer is they need a new website, which is the last thing a client wants to hear, especially if it's a recently new website. And I've seen it from both sides. I've said, I've done it, I've gone through the pain and said to a client, no, we'll build you a new website. It starts off, and then you can generally get results quicker that way. But then I've done it from the other side as well, and the client's like, no, I've invested this money in a website, just improve what I've got. And it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder slog. You're better off getting your foundations right first. Even if it does mean taking a couple of steps back, it will pay dividends going forward. But that doesn't necessarily say everybody needs a new website if you're going to invest in SEO. It just, what we do with our clients is, we'll normally do an SEO audit, like a manual audit. You've got, we do like a top level report, which I'm open, if anybody wants an SEO report, then let me know. I'm happy to run one of those. But then we ask people that seriously want to do SEO to invest in a manual audit, which takes a few days to do, and we'll go through the website page by page, and that way we kind of get a picture of the actual size of the work that needs to be done, and then advise from there.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much for that. At that point, you mentioned at the start of your talk about the poll, which I'm going to launch now, and it just gives chance for people to answer that with some of the goodies you're giving away, one of being the digital marketing consultation, which you alluded to, but also, Katie, on your stand, you've got a social media content template, which they can get as well. So I've just popped that up, and we can go through some question and answers whilst we're doing that, if that's okay. We've got a question from Jay Walker. Would you recommend separating out PPC campaigns by location? We advertise in India, UK, and US, but India's dominating the results.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%, definitely. Because just at very basic level, the language that, not the actual physical language, but the way, if you take America and England, both speak English, but you've got American English, the terminology that is used is very different. If you look at websites from England versus websites from India, let's say, Indian websites tend to be a lot more call to actions, whereas in England, by nature, we're a lot more subtle, which isn't always the right way to be. So it's, again, tuning into who your customers are, where they are, and how they buy. So, and it will be the same with a pay-per-click campaign. Although it's mainly text, you need to make sure that you're doing the right adverts at the right places.
Okay, brilliant. Moving on to SEO, and somebody from our attendees has asked, what SEO software do you recommend? I mean, can you give us a little overview to SEO software, what it is, and then maybe what you'd recommend?
Well, we use Ahrefs, is probably one of the favorite ones. We've used Nightwatch. Actually, a little tool that could help you to start off with. There's a thing, Nightwatch have got something called a search simulator, which has got a Chrome extension. If you download that, then what you can do, you can run your keywords in it and run the page. Don't just do it from your home page, do it for whatever pages it is of the website that you particularly want to rank. And you can find out where that page is ranking, what position that page is ranking for. So if that's that search simulator, should I pop that in the chat?
I was just going to do it on your behalf, actually. Search simulator.
Yeah, search simulator, Chrome extension.
Put that in the chat for everyone. That's cool. Okay, so that's a good, that's a good place to start. Thank you very much for that. We've only got about a minute or so left here, so I'm just going to round things up. Thanks for watching the recording of this live keynote webinar. Did you know we've set up a YouTube channel where we've uploaded all of the other recordings for you to watch? Please just search for Marketing Showcase in YouTube and make sure you subscribe. See you soon, guys.